Assalamualaikum and hi. My name is Nurul Syakinah Binti Othman. Today I will present about the history of QPEX and National Union Journalists Malaysia, and also I will present about the structure and membership QPEX and National Union Journalists Malaysia. National Union Journalism of Malaysia aim to promote the social, welfare and intellectual of its member. NUJ is the only union journalism that can begin collectively with the employees for just remuneration, security of tenure and decent working condition. Compare with the Congress of Union Employees in the Public Civil Service, QPEX. QPEX vision and mission are more to endeavor to improve the condition of employee of the members of the affiliate trade union. Secondly, promoting legislation affecting the interest of the member union of particular or trade unionists in general. And thirdly, promoting the interest and improve the working of its affiliate trade union. And the last one is protecting the interest of the affiliate trade union and their member. So, as we can see from the slide, both of the company are eager to benefiting their member, as in the social, welfare, salaries, medical benefit, and many more. We will explain more after this. Now, we already know about the history of QPEX and National Union of Journalists Malaysia. So, we move to the structure and membership of QPEX and National Union of Journalists Malaysia. As we can see from the slide, this is the National Union Journalism of Malaysia (NUJM) organization structure and board members. Based on the organization chart shown on above, top management include of president and vice president. A president responsible to guiding the board in carrying out activities on behalf on the union membership, whether employed by the represent firm or the union. While the vice president will help the president if the president leaving office period to completion of his or him term, the vice president as acting president until a central community congress select the new president. For the General Secretary and Assistant General Secretaries of NUJM is act as the principal spokesperson of the IMF. As act the general administration of federation, including managing and directing operation and handling all staff and other personal issues, including appointment of regional and project office representative. As in for QPEC, based on the organization chart, each leader in the organization operates in the task accordingly to the basic function of the organization. The work community comprises of the principal officer, barrier who are the QPEX has at level involving the president, deputy president, secretary general, Deputy Secretary General 1, Deputy Secretary General 2, Deputy Secretary General 3, Financial Secretary, and Deputy Financial Secretary. Everybody in the structure is from different government department, but they are the same objective, which is as the membership of QPEC to fighting for the right and welfare of civil servant, including in urging the government to raise the minimum wages rate for civil servant.
Assalamualaikum and salam sejahtera. My name is Karmila Kalfi. My student number is 2020501949. Today I will present about finance and collective bargaining and collective agreement of Congress of Union of Employees in the Public and Civil Services, for the short is QPEX, and National Union of Journalists Malaysia, and the short is NUJ. On this slide, we will discuss the company's source of income as well as expenses. Before we start, are you familiar with the terms such as collective bargaining and collective agreement? I will explain a bit about the meaning of these two concepts. Collective bargaining is the process by which employee delegates as the trade union meet with the employer to discuss and negotiate upon employees' wages and other terms and conditions of employment. Collective agreement can be defined as agreement in writing between an employer or a trade union of employers and trade union of workers relating to the terms and conditions of employment or the relation between the two parties as stated in Industrial Relations Act 1967. The National Union of Journalists Malaysia (NUJ) got some many issues in handling the financial issues such as unpaid leave, delayed salaries, and also one of remuneration only for executive staff. As in for organizations such as over than 100 employees from Utusan Newspaper Malaysia protested their unpaid salary in front of Utusan headquarters in Kuala Lumpur on August 19, 2019. New Straits Times 2019. There were journalists, photographers, graphic designers have all stated that they are struggling to survive without their salaries. For several months, they have still not received any form of remuneration. Only last month, the executive staffs received a 1 month of salary of 2,000 ringgit Malaysia. As in for QPEC, we can see that they are following their target, which is being able to assist customer in any types of inquiries. QPEX have linked with EPF and other organization or agency as one of the shareholders in the organization. QPEX also provided benefits to their members. Thus, it leads to QPEX expenses. For benefits, since 1999, QPEX already has provided insurance care for the members where QPEX cooperate with Medicare Assistance Sendirian Berhad, such as QPEX introduced surgical and hospitalization takaful program. This initiative program is good alternative for public sector members and their families who adjust for the treatment in the private specialist hospital for the affordable price. During 2021, QPEX collaboration with FWD Takaful Berhad, which QPEX agreed to contribute Ringgit Malaysia 5 million other fund of Ministry of Health FWD My Hero for frontliner workers of the Ministry of Health who got affected to the COVID-19. I'm done with my presentation. Thank you for your precious time.
Hello, my name is Elfera. I'll be presenting the activities and challenges or problem part. The main activities or services of QPEX are to help the people in difficult times is the priority for all civil servants through improvement in the quality of public service delivery. Other service provided is My QPEX Care. The service provided are firstly the hospitalization and surgical takaful program. As a civil servant, you are eligible to receive comprehensive treatment in government hospitals easily at no cost. Secondly, personal accident takaful program. With the program, your life is managed as you have had prepared an umbrella before the rain. Thirdly, entrepreneurship program. Through the program, entrepreneurs are able to generate and increase a continuous monthly income. So the last one is corporate takaful agency. This is a Medicare customer service 24-hour claim, whereas the NUJM activities are: first one is members welfare, salary, wages, and general aid under the collective agreement. The NUJM assists branches in their preparation for collective agreement CA discussions, including inviting respective management to enter into negotiation to extend a CA. Secondly, seminars. NUJM officials go to Malaysia and overseas to attend forums and seminars on economic, politics, and human rights. It also organizes workshops and seminars for its members in collaboration with the other organizations such as UNESCO, IFJ, and CAJ to help them better understand and report on current concerns. So, recently NUJM had organized a campaign which is IFJ and NUJM campaign. This far-reaching initiative aims to increase the capacity of Malaysian media and civil society organizations to initiate and drive long-term change development. The initiative seeks to strengthen organization internally via institutionally reform and outside through the formation solidarity, partnership, and alliance through capacity building of journalists, unions, and CSOs. Other activities done is, as you can see in the photos below. So, trade union must have a challenges or problems. So here are the QPEX and NUJM challenges or problems. First one is QPEX care. As a civil servant, you are entitled to free comprehensive care in government hospitals. However, the limited numbers of expert doctors at government hospital causes patients to have to wait for extended periods of time. But in private hospital, although offering quick treatment, the cost of treatment is quite expensive and must be carried by the patient. Most civil servants cannot afford these expenditures. Secondly is forging sick leave. They are reported that public officials fake sick leave certificates. The Public Service Department issued a circular advising employees against forging sick leave cards. If found guilty, federal officials might forfeit their retirement funds, home loans, and other benefits. So the third one is corrupt civil servants. They are reported that the government workers in Malaysia are accepted bribes. QPEX will collaborate with the Malaysia Anti-Corruption Commission MACC to bring them to justice. So the last one is COVID-19 epidemic. Facing the challenges of 2022, QPEX hope that the civil servant can move truly and strategically as a large team to ensure the country and the people continue to enjoy prosperity. So, whereas the NUJM challenges problems are, for decades, the NUJM had made several public statements condemning violence and intimidation of journalists as well as the proposed new false new law. In 2021, NUJM and IFJ released a press freedom report titled Lockdown Screw Titans on Press Freedom in Malaysia, which address issues such as the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on press freedom, the delayed implementation of the proposed media council, and gender bias against women. So that's it for me. Thank you.
Salam sejahtera to our lecturer, Dr. Mohammad. I'm Emillia Benjamin. Today I will present the recommendation and conclusion between QPEX and NUJ. The recommendation challenges faced by QPEX, there are 4. Okay, the first one, civil servant health issue. In 1999, in collaboration with Medicare assistant Sunan Berhad, QPEX created the QPEX Care Hospitalization and Surgical Takaful Program, which is solely for civil servants, statutory bodies, and local authorities. This project aims to give civil servants and their families the options of seeking treatment in private specialty hospital at cost that is affordable to all civil servants. Next, for guarantee sick leave, employees should not falsify sick leave cards according to circular issued by the Public Service Department, circular reference JPA STT 343 Jilid 267, issued date on 26 March June. Federal officials might lose their retirement money, home loans, and other benefits if found guilty. Number 3. Corrupt government workers. To bring them to court, QPEX would work with the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission, MACC. Employees who provided information on corrupt practices were rewarded by the government and MACC. Reporting corruption offences can be done in a variety of ways, including reporting to the Enforcement Integrity Commission, which will investigate each report in a transparent manner. As a result, each department head or authority should take every report seriously while also ensuring that the complaint's safety is protected and guaranteed. Last and not least, number 4, QPEX effort to help government workers. Othman, President of the Congress of Unions Employees, QPEX applauded the government's effort to update the minimum wage rate in line with current cost of living and economic situation in a statement released in honor of Workers' Day 2021. He also emphasized the importance of implementing a new civil service remuneration system to replace the Malaysia remuneration system, which has been in effect since 2002. It recommends, among other things, that the government attend engagement session with union leaders and draw a new economic plan or model that considers the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. That's for QPEX. Next, NUJ. Recommendation for NUJ, press freedom. On May 5th, the National Union of Journalists Peninsular Malaysia (NUJM) and the International Federation of Journalists (IFJ) released lockdown screw tighten on press freedom in Malaysia. With the backing of the European Union, it urged Malaysia government to place a greater emphasis on press freedom. IFJ and NUJM, by conducting surveys on subjects such as gender and diversity in the media, the influence of the COVID-19 pandemic on the media industry, public faith in the media, journalists' working conditions, and the evolution of press freedom in Malaysia. Following the Sultan Move political crisis last year, which say the Pakatan Harapan coalition government deposed, many journalists and human rights organizations have turned their attention to the new government and in relationship with journalists. COVID-19 also increased the burden on journalists, with many of them unable to cope with the economic downturn. During the epidemic, many media organizations, including Utusan and Cosmo, were liquidated and closed, with employees still expecting to be paid. For the conclusion, to summarize the method by which employees' unions are organized in the public sector, employee unions are structured by ministry, department, occupation, statutory authority, and local authority. In the private sector, employees' unions are organized by establishment, industrial, trade, and occupation. In regard to salary, the Public Service Department and the Salaries Commission, which have been formed at various periods, make unilateral decision on wage and other terms of service for government employees and workers in statutory bodies and local authorities. Consider the pension scheme. In the private sector, the employer is alone responsible for the deciding what salaries and benefits to offer his employees. Example, Employee Provident Fund, EPF. The way in which employees are classified employees in the public sector can form a union or an organization. Employees in the private sector are required to form a trade union, which represent roughly 140 such unions is umbrella body for them. In Malaysia, around 950,000 civil servants work in important services such as education, medical, and transportation who are not covered by labor regulations. Only employees in the private sector are covered by the Employment Act 1951. Despite having the ability to organize unions, public sector employees do not have the option of negotiating their benefits or pay through a collective bargaining agreement. The Workers' Consultative Council WCC, a tripartite council combining QPEX, the government, and employers, was founded by the government in 1979 to debate and negotiate terms and conditions of civil service employment. Public sector unions have given up their right to collective bargaining since then. The union's role has been reduced to submitting petitions, with the government deciding whether or not to examine their ideas. Trade union regulations were changed in 1969 to make it illegal for workers in critical service to strike. Meanwhile, the NUJ mission is to further its members' social welfare and intellectual interests. The NUJ is the only union in journalism that may collectively bargain with employers for fair pay, job security, and appropriate working conditions. NUJ, which is made up professional journalists, fights for press freedom and maintains high ethical standards in industry. The NUJ has created an ethical code that emphasizes the public rights to the truth, as well as the right to fair opinion and criticism. In short, in public sector QPEX, there are no collective bargaining, but in private sector, NUJ is the only union in journalism that may collectively bargain. However, QPEX Deputy President Abdul Nordin Abdul Hamid, on the other hand, said the WCC involvement in dealing with member welfare has been acceptable. The Council Coordinating Committee meets once a month, he added, and the WCC meets once a year to decide on the matters affect workers. That's all from me. Thank you.